What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be showing you the best class setups to get Damascus in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. This is part 1 of this video. Stay tuned for part 2 where I show you the setups in action and the way to do the challenges best to get Damascus Camo in Call of Duty. I know Black Ops Cold War is out, obviously, and the guns on there are the meta for Warzone right now. But this video is for educational purposes for those of you who still want to get Damascus Camo in Modern Warfare. Let's dive right in. So first up we have ARs. And ARs are the easiest along with the SMGs to get the gold camos for these guns. So we'll start off with a kilo. I'll run through a couple of different scenarios in which the ARs change, but for the most part they will be the same. So you've got the AR setup. Basically you want to go for a short barrel, because most of the time in Call of Duty you will be shooting people at close ranges. Unless you play longer maps, then you're more than welcome to put a longer barrel on, but for me personally I go for shortest barrels on these, which you can go for the 16.6 or the Whisper. Obviously this one has an integrated suppressor, so you don't have to worry about the muzzle. Next up, I generally go for a tac laser to get my aim down sight speed pretty quick. It helps in close range gunfights if you're solely focusing on ARs. Next up, for accuracy, I'll put the Commander foregrip on just for that little bit of extra accuracy when you're using the stubby barrels and stuff. Ammunition, I try to go for 50 or 60 round mags, depending on what the gun offers. For the kilo, I'm going to go for the 50 round mags, and generally I will go for either the sleight of hand perk to decrease the reloading time, or I will go for an optic such as the GI Mini Reflex, just to kind of even out the playing field on some ARs. Like the FL556 for example is a good one to have an optic on, just because it's a little bit wavy, in my opinion anyway. So for the kilo I'll just pop the Mini Reflex on, and that is the setup I would go for: the short barrel, tac laser, Commander foregrip, 50 round mags, and the GI Mini Reflex. This is basically just to have that quick ADS time, the simplicity of being able to shoot straight with the optic, and the increased magazine to help with the possible multiple enemies in front of you. Next up we have SMGs. Now I've gone for the MP5 to showcase the SMGs for this one, and what I tend to do with SMGs is go for a short barrel, just the same as the AR. For the MP5, personally my favourite is the monolithic integral suppressor, just because I prefer the way it handles. With this one, most SMGs I'll go for the 5mm laser just for hip fire accuracy, because in most close quarters ranges this just fries on the hip. For the underbarrel, I go for the Merc foregrip on the MP5, just because it's more steady and it doesn't really impede on the ADS time. For ammunition, I go for the 45 round mags, just makes everything easier. You know, if you're coming up against multiple enemies, you can just shoot them all with no worries. And for the stock, I go for the F-Tac collapsible, because it's easier when I'm aiming down the sights. You know, I don't have to worry about waiting 30 seconds for the gun to come up to my face. And that's basically the easiest way I found out of setting up the MP5 and most SMGs. If there's any other ones, they will be towards the end of the video, same as the ARs. If they're any different to how they should be, or how the MP5 or the kilo is showcased, I will show them at the end of the video. So next up I have the sniper rifles. The AX50 is the one I've chosen to showcase, because out of the actual sniper rifles, not Marksman Rifles, the AX50 is my personal favourite to use. I know sniping's not everybody's cup of tea. I know some people aren't good at it, some people don't enjoy it in any war game, not just Call of Duty. But in order to get Damascus, you need to go through them all. So what I tend to do with sniper rifles, once again, is go for the shortest barrel. On the AX50, it's a 17-inch factory barrel. On every sniper in Warzone and Modern Warfare, I'll always put a tac laser on, just to make that ADS a little bit quicker. The optic can stay the same, because it's just a standard sniper optic. I'll go for the stipple grip tape on this, just to improve ADS time, because ADS is everything in multiplayer games. I'll put a stock on, which The ADS one on this one is the Assassin, just to improve on everything, basically, from how fast I need to be able to shoot people, and if I need to be able to shoot people from afar, I can still clutch up in a 1v1. And for the sniper, I will also go for sleight of hand, just to make that reload a little bit quicker, so I'm not impeding my gameplay and I don't die as much. So this is your AX50. You've got a 17-inch factory barrel, the tack laser. You got the standard sniper scope on top. You got the stipple grip tape, the Marksman. Is it the Marksman? It is the Assassin stock, and sleight of hand, obviously. Next up, we have pistols. I've chosen the X16 here to show off just how easy it is to set up any sort of pistol. Pretty much all the pistols are the same. I can't think of any that are, maybe the Magnum's a little bit different, but I can show you that another stage. Best way to set up pistols, I always put a suppressor on mine, just because I prefer the way it sounds. I will try to put damage range and bullet velocity up on pistols, because the ADS time on a pistol is ridiculous anyway. I'd always try to put a 5mm laser on, just so I can hip fire, makes things a little bit easier. I never tend to put an optic on a pistol, just because I don't really think it's viable. Trigger action, depending on how fast you want to fire, I would go for the match grade or the lightweight. Me personally, I go for the match grade, just because it provides that extra bit of aim stability. Ammunition, I'd always go for the highest rounds possible in a pistol, just in case you come up against multiple enemies and all you've got is your pistol. Sometimes you can go for a stock on these, just to make it a little bit easier if you're finding it difficult. Or on some weapons there is a dual wield option. You can go for that, and I will showcase those separately, just in case people prefer the double weapons. This is your X16 setup, and it's one of my favourites to get Damascus in Call of Duty. Now, because pistols are a secondary weapon, you will have to use a primary with it. I would recommend the riot shield, just because it is quite a difficult weapon to get gold in Call of Duty. So it's always best to try and go for a difficult gun with an easy gun, just so you're getting both of them together. Now, obviously the riot shield doesn't have any attachments, but it does have camos, and it does look pretty good in Damascus, if I do say so myself. Shotguns, some people's favourites, some people's worst nightmare. Now, shotguns can be very useful in close quarters, at maps like Shipment or gunfight maps. With shotguns, it is, well, personally I found it very easy to get these gold on smaller maps. Obviously with the longer range maps, you're not going to fare so well. With these, generally you want a close range setup with a little bit of kick. So all the ammunition I would put on shotguns is Dragon Breath rounds, just because it gives that extra bit of flair, if you'd like. I don't generally tend to go for the shortest barrel on shotguns, just because I like that little bit of extra range in case somebody's a little bit further away and they're going to outgun me with an SMG or an AR, for example. So what I'll do on these ones, I'll go for the 18-inch Liberator on the Model 680. I would go for the 5mm laser all day, every day, just because of that hip fire. You need it. It's a shotgun. Simple as. For the underbarrel, I would go for the XRK True Grip Tactical for the aim down sight speed and recoil control. You get them both together. This is specific to this gun. However, most of the guns you'll find that they'll have an attachment that is similar. As for the stock, I won't go for the no stock, even though it does improve aim down sight speed. I'll go for the F-Tac Stalker 12, as it doesn't decrease the accuracy, range and control. It just slightly impedes on the accuracy and control. And that is your shotgun setup. LMGs, slow moving, slow firing, generally fast killing. I love an LMG, if I'm being honest.
Thank you for your candor.
I think they are very powerful, and in some cases not to be messed with. With an LMG in Modern Warfare, the best way to get them gold is to have a short barrel, as you'll generally be on short maps for the most part, other than your long shot medals. With these, I will put either a 1mm or a 5mm, that's up to you. I prefer the 5mm. Some people don't like the location to be revealed. However, I do prefer it as it handles nicer. Next up on the PKM, we've got the Snatch Grip. For recoil control and ADS speed, it is the best underbarrel to use on this gun. I'll go for a no stock attachment on these guns because they're slow enough anyway, so I prefer the mobility. on any gun, sniper, AR, SMG, all the same. For the rear grip, I will go for the stipple grip just for the ADS time, and you can still keep on target with the recoil control. And personally, I think the PKM's ridiculous on recoil control anyway because it doesn't have any. But maybe that's just me. However, this is my personal favourite LMG setup for Modern Warfare multiplayer. I generally tend to just go on smaller maps until I need to do long shots, and I'll do long shots and then I'll move on to the next weapon. But I tend to try and leave the long shots till last. I believe these ones, yep. So it's not a lot, it's only 45, so that's 1 or 2 games, maybe 3, depending on how you play. But yeah, that's the most part. This is the setup for your PKM. Now for the Marksman Rifles. The Marksman Rifles are similar to sniper rifles, whereas you need the small barrels, you need the quick ADS. Personally, I prefer a sniper scope with a different reticle from the cars because I think it's awful. The pinpoint is my favourite one because it's got a very small crosshair and it's quite easy to hit targets with and to see all the area around it. You need the ADS stock so you can snap onto targets quicker, and I would go for either the sleight of hand perk or the stipple grip tape. Just for that quickness, I'd go for the stipple grip. That's my personal choice. You can go for the reload time, which is up to you. But similar to a sniper, you will need quick ADS time, short barrel, because you will be barrel stuffing people pretty much all the time on smaller maps. As you'll notice, none of these guns have silencers on them because on smaller maps it doesn't really matter whether you're hidden from enemies or not. I've found that I'm not too fussed about my position being shown on the map. You are more than welcome to put a suppressor on. I would always recommend a monolithic, but that is your choice. You can choose to take off any of these. That is up to you. These are just all my own personal ways I've found the easiest way to get Damascus, or the gold and platinums, and then Damascus. Now, as you'll see in all of these setups, I've got a rocket launcher with them, apart from the pistol. That is because rocket launchers are an arduous task to get gold and platinum. As you can see, you've got to get kills, and 125 kills with a Joker is ridiculous, I think, with any rocket launcher, except the RPG or maybe the Strela. I just think it's god awful. I hate rocket launchers. Obviously, you have to get the attacker and defender awards. These are, say you're playing in domination, an attacker award is hitting somebody that is on an enemy objective. So you kill an enemy that's already defending an enemy objective, you get an offense award. That gives you an attacker, basically an attacker reward. And the defender award is killing somebody that is on your objective, an enemy that is on your objective. You have to kill enemies while using the amped perk, which obviously you can do. If you've killed enemies with an amped perk, I'd recommend switching over to spotter so you can see all the kill streaks up high and down low. It's always handy to have ghost with your classes, so things like VTOLs and chopper gunners can't see you, and UAVs, just in case you are camping somewhere and you want to get all your Joker kills. So these are the weapons that you do need to complete camo challenges for to get Damascus in Modern Warfare. I can't stress enough that you do not need to do every single gun, like the AS-FAL, the AN-94, the ISO, the Fennec, so on and so forth. I'll put all of them up now. These are the ARs. These are the SMGs. These are the LMGs. Shotguns. Sniper rifles. Marksman rifles. Pistols. Launchers. And melee weapons. Feel free to pause if you didn't get all of them, as I did go a little bit quick.